Good morning.
In a world clouded by noise,
Truth is waiting in the quiet
it whispers.
until someone dares to listen.
She is the oracle, Tammy De Mirza, a world-renowned intuitive.
A messenger of what's hidden
She sees what others cannot.
and speaks the truths you have been seeking. And he is the master, Sifu Raphael, a master instructor, strategist,
A guide who leads with discipline
turning wisdom.
into action. Together,
We awaken what's been buried
we ignite the hunger for truth,
and we challenge illusions.
guiding you to your next level of power. Two powerful souls unite to awaken what's been buried.
To break what's been bound and to speak what others want. The oracle,
And the master,
it's time. Hey, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, good morning. You know what I like about that video is when the conductor goes, shh. And so let's go ahead and play our instruments, right?
Well, just so everybody knows, Sifu is the one who did this. You are very, very good at this, and I want to thank you for doing it for us. I love it. I
My
love it.
pleasure.
And I wanted to share with you real quickly that if people let me know and they share something, we may even say their name. And so
Mhm.
Trish was having a fit. Trish, kudos to you. You're coming on. Thank you so much. They were having a fit over the dynamics between the two of us, who we are, how we are with each other, how different we are, but how loving we are. And she said the love is what shone through. She said, I can tell the two of you are together. So welcome everyone. We are happy to have you here live. And for those of you that are coming in later and listening, we are so glad to have you here to listen to us. Comment and let us know where you're coming from.
Yeah, we're in the world. We're in the world because we are seen in so many countries and we're worlds apart, but yet we're right here together.
Yes.
You are, it's a different time zone for you, totally. And, and one of the things that I love about you is you say, when I commit, and I do the thing.
Uh-huh.
And so, top of the morning. Right?
Top of the morning to you. I'm drinking coffee because I need to wake up. It's 5:30 here in Colorado. And I forgot to say we couldn't do it today, but I'm gonna keep my word.
That's what I love. When we consider the healing, right? The healing that we all go through, and I think that one of the things that we sometimes overlook is sleep, because sleep is such a healing component. And so many entrepreneurs think that, oh my goodness, Jody, thank you from Oxford, Florida. So thank you. But a lot of people think, oh, and I was guilty of it myself. I'm going to be honest with you. I was like, I'll sleep when I'm dead. And then I realized, right, that I won't be sleeping when I'm dead. I'll be dead. But here's the thing, sleep is so instrumental
Yes.
to our brilliance so that we can recharge, right? So
Yeah.
that we can replenish the beauty that God has given us.
Mhm. Yes. And I'm gonna share something else that I learned a long time ago. Transitional spaces and transitional times are very important. And this is gonna make people wanna either not get out of bed or get in the bed. So, what happens is that when you are everybody feels a difference when they're at the ocean, because where the sand is and where the water is a transitional space. Where the river is and where the bank is, transitional space. But for your mind, where you move into neutrality, which is another transitional space, is when you get in the bed right before you go to sleep, or when you are in bed and you haven't quite woke up yet, awakened completely. That is a transitional space. And guess what? That's where you receive so much downloads, so many things come forward for you. That is, to me, meditation is blank space. It is empty, void space so that something can come in. And that time before you go to sleep, and then the intel that you get while you are sleeping is quite extraordinary. I remember being in the Villages, Florida. I was in Leesburg, right outside the Villages, and something happened, Sifu, for 3 days. I was so frustrated because I woke up and I was seeing very clearly me with 3 gods, and those 3 gods were, um, they were talking to me, but I couldn't hear what they said. I could only hear what I said. "Thank you for explaining this to me. That makes sense." I was frustrated, and I don't know why there's an echo. I'm sorry, I don't know if it's on my end. I'm in a hotel in Colorado,
That's okay.
not in my normal environment. But what happened was I got frustrated, Sifu, because I was like, "Why can't I hear what they're saying? This is too I need to know what they're telling." And I heard, "It doesn't matter, your spirit gets it, you know." And on the 3rd day when I saw that, and I was the most frustrated, "Why aren't you telling me? Why aren't you letting me hear it with my physical?" Your spirit
Mhm.
knows. So, guys, when you are sleeping and resting and balancing your life, a lot more is happening for you spiritually. So get the rest that you need.
And one of the things that I actually, it is our mind never shuts off,
No.
even though we go to sleep, right? Because if it did, it wouldn't, our body wouldn't function. And one of the things I said, I'm going to tap into this. I'm going to tap into this. So before I go to sleep, I have intentions of what do I want to work on while I'm sleeping?
Yes,
What do I want to think about? What do I want? So one of the things that I always say, and look at all these beautiful people chiming
I
in and
know.
saying good morning and so forth, right? Emilio
And
and
Deborah,
Deborah
hey,
and Jody and everybody else, thank you so much for joining us. But one of the things that I say, I ask God for guidance. I said, during my night, share with me how I should show up tomorrow. How should I be but don't let my sleep be a waste. Let it be a proponent to how I should be tomorrow, how I should show up. And then even when I wake up, I thank them that I woke up, that I'm alive. And sometimes I don't know why I put an alarm on because I wake up way before my alarm.
yeah.
I put it on just in case there's ever a crazy day that my body says sleep, but my body knows when it's time to get up. And sometimes it's at 3:15 in the morning. Other times it's at, you know, 3:55 in the morning. Other times, like last night, I was up at 12:48 and I was like, wait a minute, I should be sleeping. So I said, okay, God, please allow me to sleep till at least 3:30. And I was able to go back to sleep till about 3:30. But it's about the intentions that we go to sleep with that are going to help elevate who we are going to become the next day.
Yes. And I'm just going to say this. I love your idea of setting the intention for your rest. I'm going to say 2 things. 1, ask questions about something I want to know. And then the next morning, when I'm in that transitional space, for those of you who just came in, please go back and listen so you'll understand this. Transitional spaces are important. In that transitional space, I'll get the answer. And then the other thing that I found, Sifo, I don't know if you've ever done this, but if you've ever dreamed you're flying, you are. You're actually astrally traveling. And when you get to a certain level of sleep, you will all astrally travel. Where? Well, some of my clients said they're exhausted when they wake up, and I said, "You're fighting too much during your sleep. Tell your body it has to rest no matter what you're doing spiritually." And then the second thing I'll share is that I kept dreaming that I was falling, and I was scared because I was watching me rush to the ground, and right
Mhm,
before I landed, wake up, but Sifu, my body was hurting. It was like,
mm,
"Oh god, oh, that hurt." So
mm,
finally, and I kept dreaming this over and over again. Finally, I asked Spirit, "What is this? Why am I hurting, literally hurting when I fall?" I've always heard that if you see yourself hit the ground, you die. But I said, before I hit the ground, I wake up, my whole body's hurting. Well, you're not landing gracefully. And I
Mm.
said, what? Yes, Tammy, everybody is astrally traveling and you're not landing back in your body gracefully. And I simply said to my body that night, okay, spirit and body, you coordinate. I don't want to hurt going back in my body again. So you're going to have to be very cautious and loving entering my body again so that I don't have to feel pain. And not once has that happened again. Not once. So there's
Understanding your dream, that's important too.
Oh, yes, and what I suggest that my clients do is to go to Google and say, "What is the significance of me dreaming?" I was dreaming about the Waltons. I don't know why, and it was in the middle of the night when I woke up and I went to Chat GPT because 'cause I've trained Chat to do readings for me, believe it or not. It's my intuitive now, and I said, "Why is it that I was dreaming about the Waltons?" And it went into my whole life. I'm gonna be selling that as a membership sometime because I've trained it to read
Mm.
me and to read other people. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That is very cool. So I'm going to tell you about a dream that I had for 2 years in a row. Same dream every single.
Wow.
And I've heard 1,000 times that you're not supposed to die in your sleep.
Yeah,
Okay, guess who did?
you did.
Every night I died in my sleep.
Wow. That's traumatic.
But here's the thing, right? I was a little boy when this happened to me. And it was my sister and her husband that I would run at their feet and die, and my bones would come out of my body.
Wow.
And the craziest thing is that my sister would say, "Oh, well,
No
listen,
big deal. See ya.
he's done." But the thing is that my sister has been my savior my whole life. So go figure that I would die at her feet,
Mm,
and she's the one that has saved my life over and over.
wow.
And one of the things is when I considered going back and thinking about my dream, it was my brother-in-law's father who was chasing me, and he was a witch in my dream.
Wow.
But he, in real life, was the nicest, most caring person you could possibly meet.
Wow.
So his alter ego was a witch chasing me throughout the house, and he killed me every night.
Wow.
So can you imagine me not wanting to go to sleep as a kid?
Yes. That's pretty wild.
But I take every experience as a growth experience, even though I died so many times. And in real life, I've almost died so many times in real life. So every time, and this is why I wake up every morning with gratitude. I go to sleep with gratitude that I was able to live this day, however long it was, whether I woke up at 2:15 in the evening, or we should say morning, and then went back, didn't go to sleep till 11 or 12 o'clock that night. However long my day is, or how short it is, I am just grateful that I made it through. And I pray that I wake up the next morning a new and better person.
Now see, I decide.
Say that again?
I believe that I decide whether I'm gonna wake up or not. So I will say, I'm waking up in the morning and I'm thankful I am. Yeah. So I'm not thinking that God is the one that controls when I go. I know we have a choice. Yeah. But I want to share something about you since everybody's kind of getting to know us, if that's okay. Every single time, and I've known you for how many months?
Not that long.
Um, I know that I was in Times Square with my picture up on the Jumbotron. I think that was June. And I
Yeah, I
think
think
I met you maybe in April, But every single conversation I've ever had with you, I'm gonna say what I always say, and I want you to say what you always say, okay? And you did it this morning. I say, "Sifu, how are you?"
Exceptional and getting better every day.
I love that attitude. I want the listeners to know who you are and to know who I am and how we function because you're very disciplined. And would you explain for just a second why we call you the master?
I believe, and I'm humbled when anybody does call me that because I'm still a white belt. And I think a true master is somebody who does not stop learning. And this is why, for me, every day I need to learn something. Otherwise, I'm wasting my day.
Yeah.
If I don't learn something, I'm wasting my day. You teach me something every time we're together, and I'm so grateful for that. Every time, it could be a 5-year-old kid that I'm working with or a 98-year-old. I need to learn something from them, and I know they have something to give me. And sometimes it's just questioning them. Why are you thinking that? What's going on? So it's for me, and I think if I'm considered a master is because my curiosity is what makes me a master.
Mm.
I always want to know more. I'm that little kid that keeps going, why? 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 So because without if you ask somebody why and they can't give you an answer, then maybe they need to go look something up. And whenever I don't have an answer, I'm super honest with somebody. I don't fake it and go, "Oh, yeah, I know everything." I know nothing. And the older I get, the more I realize I probably know less. So this is why I keep searching for more, searching for more. This is why I'm an avid reader. This is why you recommended a book, and I gotta tell you, I picked up that book right away. The minute you recommended it, I picked it up. It was a Steve Jobs book, right? By Michael, forgetting his last name.
Yeah, it's about Steve Jobs and how he spoke.
Yeah, and it was such a great read, and but when somebody recommends a book, I'm like, "Yes, I get to go pick something else up," and I love actual books. I don't like I'm on the computer so much, I don't wanna read on a computer, right? I wanna sit down and I wanna read a book. I wanna feel the pages in
Wanna
my
hold it. Yeah.
yeah,
Well, for me, I'm constantly, learning. Like you said, every single person is your teacher. But I also hire coaches. I'm in Colorado right now because I'm about to do an entire day with Hillary DeCesar. She's a coach that I've hired. I have 4 coaches right now. Um,
approach.
but we're reevaluating my entire life and what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. I'm also teaching a conscious alchemy class right now at 6 weeks, and Sifu, you would love it because I'm making them dig very deep into the details. And I only offered that to people that were in my Rising Sovereign program. So don't worry, those of you that are listening, I may offer this to the public. But I need more than 6 weeks. I've been working with them for 90 days. So
Mhm,
that course will be more intense than 6 weeks. But one of the things that they are learning is that as I ask them to do the homework, they're having to go deeper because the questions are so much deeper. And they're starting to realize, "I had no idea, I had no idea, I had no idea."
mhm,
And I suggest that we constantly be on that path of learning. And for me, it's hiring coaches. And I tell people, if I ever stop hiring coaches, don't go to me. Don't go to people who don't hire coaches because they only went this far.
mhm,
I'm constantly rising. I have to find somebody that can hold space for me
mhm.
where they are that I am not yet, who can see me and hold that space and say, "I've got you. I know this, and because I know this, you can know this." It's a beautiful thing. So you are constantly training people in the martial arts. You're constantly having to grow and learn. And today, I know we're talking about, using your trauma for growth. Would you like to start and go into that a little bit?
Yeah, you know what? When we think about healing your trauma without the drama, so many people they need to be recognized by others. But I think the real healing comes when you recognize yourself and you recognize the beauty that you have. When you look in the mirror, there should be no drama. When you look in the mirror, you should see you. You should see the beauty that you are representing in the world. And I don't care if you say, "Oh, I gotta lose 30 pounds. I don't like this about me. I don't like my nose. I don't like my ears. I don't like my hair." Nonsense. That's nonsense. To heal internally is the biggest gift we can give ourselves.
And others.
And without a doubt, right? Because it comes outward, right?
Mhm.
When you feel healed inside, others will benefit from that. And like you said, others, because guess what? You'll be happier. You'll be more alert. You'll notice things that you may not have noticed. When was the last time that somebody listening to us actually went to the woods and walked and didn't just look at the trees, but they looked deeper and they said, "Oh, look, not only a bird, but look, a squirrel. Oh, wait, there's a bug, and that bug has life.
Yeah,
That bug is here for everything I believe in life. It has a purpose, but we don't see it because we're so looking outward. All the media that's coming at us, constantly bombarding us with commercials and ads and all this kind of stuff, but we're not looking at what's really around us that will help us heal. The breath that we take every day is so critical, and it should be a deep breath. And sometimes, even with your breath, you should say some words of intention like, "I'm alive. I'm so beautiful. I'm worthy." And sometimes when we do these things, you may well up to tears. You may find that you are worth more than you ever gave yourself credit for. So the healing has to start with you. And there should be absolutely no drama. You shouldn't tell somebody, "Yeah, I'm going to go heal myself." No, nobody needs to know about it. One of the things that I always tell my clients is what you do in private shows up in public.
absolutely.
Right? So for those people that go binge eat in private, nobody's going to see it. Well, it's going to show up. Don't worry, it will. If you beat yourself up in private, it's going to show up how you show up in public because you're going to have doubt, you're going to have fear, you're going to have all these negative things about you. So, how do we heal? Start looking in the mirror. I've had people look in the mirror who could not even look. They're in front of the mirror like this.
Yeah.
I'm like, "Well, no, look at that person in front of you." And then after a while, and I would make people stay 20, 30 minutes in front of a mirror, and then all of a sudden they saw themselves and they started crying, and they didn't know why they were crying. And I said, "Because you see the beauty. So we have to look."
Louise Hay, a lot of you know her. She would tell people to stand in front of the mirror and just say repeatedly, "I love you. I love you. I love you." It's pretty cool to have that. I wanna plant a thought about you talking about being in the woods.
Mm.
This is something that came to me years ago. My kids are little. My husband and I were taking the kids on a hike. And what happened is the car was kinda quiet. The kids are behaving. They're not agitating each other. I'm not having to tell them, "You look out that window, and you look out that window." Everybody is calm and peaceful, and I heard, "Look outside." And I'm like, "Okay, what do you see?" Well, I see bushes and trees and briars and pine trees and oak trees, and I see leaves, and I see, I see the mountains, and I see dirt, and I see grass. Where is it all pointing, Tammy? And I went, oh my God. It's all pointing up.
Mm.
Every single thing in nature, except for dirt, is pointing up. So very often we'll go out into the woods or hike or, even hiking Mount Sinai recently. You're going up
Mm.
and everything is pointing up. And to be on the top of Mount Sinai and seeing how everything around, even though that's desert, there were some green pointing up. And if that doesn't elevate you, I think that's one of the reasons we need nature, is because everything is almost like in worship, you know? There are very few limbs that just point down. And those that's fine. But that's one of the reasons I think the woods elevates us, is because there's a form of worship. And then a verse came to my mind that was in the Bible that was very old. And it said, if nobody will worship me, even the rocks will cry out.
Mm.
So nature in itself is a really good example to us of rising, of elevating, of looking above where we are. And when we're dealing with pain and drama, I'm going to tell you something kind of cute that I think is really silly. And every once in a while, I'm on a dating site, and I haven't been on a dating site for about 14 months. And every once in a while, I see a man in his profile say, I don't want any drama. And I think that maybe you're not interested in growing, because the way that this world works is that the universe will show you repetitive patterns over and over and over again in order for us to do the inner work. The good news is that once you graduate one of your spiritual curriculums, which is always themed, you'll notice that there's a theme. This specific thing keeps happening. Like you having that dream for 2 years, there was a message. Once you got the message, you didn't have the dream anymore. I used to have repetitive dreams. And once I figured it out and it actually happened and I overcame it, I never had that dream again.
Mm.
So this life that we're living is an illusion, but it is very useful if we will pay attention to the trauma, drama, to the pain, to when we are triggered by something, something someone says, something someone does. Instead of blaming them, pull up the mirror and say, what is within me that triggered? And when you do that work, that person is no longer needed. That drama, that trauma. I remember when I was homeless and I was so tired. Cynthia, you and I both have been homeless. You and I both have had a lot of trauma in our lives, but we wouldn't be the oracle and the master without it.
That's right.
So we're all going to experience those dichotomies,
Mm.
but if we will use it to grow, then you never have those symptoms again. So being homeless, trying to come out of it, I would create a miracle. I would manifest something. It's why I teach this stuff now, conscious alchemy. I would I would have a miracle, and then the next thing you know, I wouldn't have any money again, and I was gonna have to move, and I couldn't pay the rent, or I couldn't do this, or I couldn't do that. And then finally one day, I write about this in the book, The Inmate and the Medium, and I said, "I'm sick of having this pattern. I wanna overcome it for good." And for 7 days, I went in. And
Mm.
every
That
day, I was getting new messages, and at night, in that transitional space, I would read, "Where are you? How far are you in the process? Have you crossed the threshold? How far are you away from the threshold of crossing it?" Once I learned those recipes, that is what I teach everybody else, but good news is that once I overcame that about money, never once has my checking account been ever down close to what it was during that time, because once you overcome it, once you use the pain, the trauma, the drama, the pattern, once you use it and you stop pretending that you're a victim, this is happening to me, this is random, this I don't have anything to do with it, I'm not involved in this, I can't believe this is happening. Oh, yes, you are. You are creating your life, and your spirit is conspiring with the universe all the time to get your attention. But when you do, heaven and earth moves for you, and you will never experience that again once you overcome it.
I got to tell you, when you brought up being homelessness, home, home is where the heart is. But if the heart is aching, oof, and that's why when I was 10 years old, I was homeless because I ran away from the pain. It was not a home for me. It was a painful place to be. And what I remember thinking about was, which bush am I going to sleep in tonight? So I can be safe. Which bush is the one that's going to be so I don't get the thorns on me, right, while I'm trying to sleep? And how do I cover, right? And how do I hide so nobody finds me in the middle of the night while I'm sleeping? And that taught me that I can sleep anywhere. I can sleep on the floor. I can lay down right here where I am and go to sleep. I am gonna be comfortable because it's not a bush anymore. It's a floor and I'm comfortable. So it taught me something, that it wasn't where I slept that caused me the drama, is where I was running from that caused the drama. And what I did as a 10-year-old who should never feel that the streets are safer than home is go to the street. Go to the street. And here's a crazy thing, right? My family sent my brothers out looking for me. And I saw one of my brothers looking for me. And I saw him and I hid. And then I asked the question, maybe they do love me. Maybe they do love me because they're looking
Mm.
for me. Unfortunately, I found out that was not the truth. They only were looking for me because it was the norm, right? Because then they would look bad. And then I when I was found out, when I went to a friend's house who said, "Oh, come, my mom's gonna make you dinner." And I didn't know that. He didn't tell his mother, but his mother overheard from people trying to find me. And so she gave me dinner and didn't have my parents come and get me. And man, the beating that I get was not the one that said, "We love you and we want you back home." It was more of, "Hey, we missed hitting you." So, when we think about what we run away from, we have to find solace in the fact that even if no one is rooting for you, you have to root for yourself. You have to root for yourself. So, and that's when I stopped my parents from physically hurting me because I did something that blew their mind. Let me know if you're interested in hearing.
Yes, please. By the way,
And
if anybody wants to ask questions while we're speaking, please submit them. Stop and answer your questions.
right there, ask Dr. Tammy or me Sifu questions. So, excuse me, would anyone else like to hear what I did to stop my parents from physically abusing me. I know you're interested.
Yes. Let's
So
go.
I'll share it. My dad used to beat me not with the belt, but with the buckle. And he would stop only when there was blood. That's the only time he would ever stop. So we do have Deborah said yes. Thank you, Deborah. So he would stop only when there was blood. And if you look at it, I can see it in my mind, right? I'm running around the house. My dad is chasing me with the belt, right? And here I am running and running, and eventually I get caught and I get a beating, right? And but my mom used to beat me more regularly. Like if I walked into the room, she'd just smack me or hit me or this or that. And so one day my dad is chasing me. And I said, no more. I'm not running anymore. And I stood there. He caught me and he did his usual. He started beating me. But I was not cowering. I was not trying to get away from it. Because sometimes he would have to chase me and hit me, chase me and hit me, chase me and hit me. It was a routine. And I said, no more. I will not run anymore. And I stood there like a statue, and he beat me, and he beat me. And something changed in him. He realized that I was not reacting to his beating. I was taking it. A 10-year-old boy taking a beating as if it was nothing, as if, is that all you have? Give me more. Give me more. So that's the last time my dad beat me, ever.
Wow.
Because I think he stopped and he just walked away from me. I think I triggered something in him to make him realize, what am I doing? This is a boy who, by some crazy coincidence, I'm named after him. So here's the whole deal. And what am I doing to this kid? And by me not moving, it made him open his eyes. And I'm going to tell you about my mom at a different date. So
Okay.
I want people to even want to ask questions. What did your mom do? How'd you stop your mom? Because
What you did with your dad because you gave something really big. Go ahead. Tell us about your mom.
I'm not going to tell you about my mom today, but
Oh,
I'm going to tell you one thing about both my parents and my whole entire family is that at the age of 18, I wanted to do nothing with them anymore.
mm,
And it was my sister, my angel, that I talked about. She's the one that told me to rethink it and at least give it a week. And that's when I found forgiveness. And we can talk about that another time as well.
wow. So you gave one of the biggest recipes that stops the pain,
Mm.
facing it,
All right.
going in, stop avoiding it, stop wishing it would go away, stop wishing someone else would change, stop thinking if this were different, if they didn't do that, if they didn't act this way, if they hadn't died, if they hadn't whatever, if they
Mm.
hadn't gotten sick, if they hadn't beat me, facing it and saying, I'm going to face this and this is not going to be my pain anymore. It's almost like when you're beaten as a child, and I know this, when you're beaten as a child, then you start to believe that you deserve to be beat. And then you will do your own self abuse. You will either give the abuse to somebody else or you will self abuse until you heal. So for me, what you said is very profound because I figured out in my 20s that whenever I was afraid of something, whenever something was looming over me, whenever something felt heavy, whenever something felt unsure, whenever there was pain involved, emotional pain involved, it was because I hadn't made a decision yet.
That's it.
And so I wasn't willing to face it. I wasn't willing to say, and listen, my conscious alchemy that I teach, where people manifest $20,000, 10x their income, manifest $100,000 in 2 days because of my recipes, I overcame homelessness. One of the parts is you owning the fact that you created this. You agreed to it, you know it or not. And I manifest trips, I manifest things in the physical, I manifest relationships, I manifest friends, I manifest clothes. I can even think of them. I want a black pair of shoes that looks like this, and then somebody either gives them to me or I find them. Suddenly, I'm like, "That is exactly what I thought."
Mm.
So, facing it like you did, turning and saying, "I'm not a victim," that's what you did, CP. You said, "I'm not a victim anymore. I'm
Thank
not
you,
a
Joe.
I'm going to face it. I'm not a victim, I'm a victor."
Mm.
Thanks, Jody, for coming. I look forward to seeing you again. Um,
Absolutely.
when you do that, you change the entire trajectory of your life, of their life, and you become a victor, which is a leader. And your reality shifts the moment that you stand and say, "I'm not a victim.
Mm.
This is not going to be my same experience." In other words, you decided that this is not your identity, that being beaten was not your identity. You had had enough. It's bravery, it's power, it's from disempowered to empowered. It is amazing. I love that you shared that because of what our subject is today,
Yeah.
because that's the answer. That's how you stop the patterns, is stop denying it.
Mhm.
And I realized a long time ago that fear is nothing more than a big cloud that you can't see through. It's almost like being in a fog. But the moment that you say, "This is fear and I'm going in," it moves and there's a direct path. It is fascinating to me how that works. And then decision. You made a decision and your reality changed.
It does, it does. You spoke about 2 important aspects. You can transfer the pain that you have to others, or you can stop the pain for yourself and for others. And so I chose to stop it all over. So I have never, and I have 2 incredible, beautiful boys, I have never raised my hand, ever. Because why would I want them to go through what I went through? Don't we want more for our children, for the next generation? Don't we want them to have more than what we have, even better, to supersede any expectations we had? So for me, it was, I don't want to continue the drama of my trauma, right? But I can't say that for my siblings. I can't say that for them because I've seen it. I've seen them hit their children. I'm number 10 of 12, by the way, for those of you who don't know. But
Wow.
can you imagine how I had to forgive so many people? But the 2 main culprits, if you will, were my parents. And then I realized that the most important thing about forgiveness, besides yourself, is forgiving other people because you have not walked in their shoes. You don't know what they went through. I don't know the beatings that my dad got. Maybe it was similar to mine. Maybe they were worse than mine. Maybe he was doing better for me or my mom. I don't know what they went through. But for me to judge them, who am I? And that's when I found forgiveness because if I cannot forgive them, that means I am judging. Who am I? Nobody. I cannot judge another person. The only person I can judge is the one that looks at me in the mirror.
Reminds me of the movie The Shack. Did you ever see that?
The shack?
Yes.
Mm.
You've got to see the movie The Shack, and I have. When people come to me for life and breakthrough transformation, sometimes I'll get movies that we have to watch together because
Okay.
it's a theme around their lives or what they're doing, or they need to see something in it. And I was watching The Shack with a client of mine, and she just started crying, and I put the movie on pause, and I said,
Mm,
"What's going on?" She said, "You are like God in that movie. You are that love. You're cooking for us. You're holding us," because God and Jesus were not acting like, you think, sitting on their throne, baseball bat ready to break you because you're a sinner. It's not like that. But that movie, The Shack, is a good one to watch.
I
It's
wrote it down.
it's exactly what you're saying.
I wrote it down.
Know what is passed down generationally. Sometimes it doesn't really matter. What is your identity? What is your experience? We're not cursed. We came to experience these dichotomies. We actually agreed to every single thing our parents have done. And with my parents, Sifu, I actually sat them down before my father transitioned. I sat them down and 2 or 3 times said, "I wanna thank you for being my greatest teachers.
Mm,
But I want you to know something. If you don't stop abusing, I will walk away.
mm,
But I wanna thank you for everything you've done. I wanna thank you for honoring me and my choices in this life to come into this." But it stops, and if it doesn't stop, I stop it.
mm. Yeah.
It's beautiful to be able to not only forgive, but to look at them as, "Oh my god, you've been my greatest gift. You've been my greatest teacher, and I agreed to come into you and experience this very thing." I have when I've apologized to my kids for doing things that were off and hurt them, I would say, "Okay, I'm gonna say 2 things to you. I want you to forgive me. I'm asking you to. It's your choice as to whether or not you." And I said, "Secondly, you actually agreed to do this with me, so there's something for you in it as well. I'm learning. Will you learn?" It's beautiful in that way.
Wow. Other people are saying how much they love this show, and I gotta chime in and say I love it too.
I do too. It's really it's so easy being and guys, we are not sit around and figure out what we're gonna say. This is impromptu. Every single thing that is done here, we might know a subject, that's all we know. Every single thing is impromptu based on your wisdom, my wisdom, your teachings, my teachings, your experiences, my experiences. And it's very fluid, and I love you.
Likewise. It's, it's incredible, the time that we met in person and the energy that we both felt was pretty cool, for me, and I think for you too. So when we think about the amount of time that we can spend with another person, it doesn't have to be a long time. It could be a short time, but if they're genuine, you can feel their heart. You can feel the love. And, would you share with us what somebody said to you, when you were at an event, just the other day?
Oh, I was just it's funny because I was just thinking about that, and if I'm giving you the wrong one, then, share. I had a multi-billionaire that was approaching me for 3 days. When I first saw him the end of June, our eyes locked. I knew that I was supposed to know him, but because of some trauma drama going on in February in my life, I had to cancel Dubai. He works with the royals in Dubai. He is the reason the tallest building is there in Dubai.
Mm,
for 3 when I first saw him, I just looked at him and I said, "Come on." And we hugged each other. And then for 3 days, he was harassing me about coming to Athens. "You're coming to Athens." "No, I'm not." "You're coming." "No, I'm not." "No, I'm not." And finally, on the 3rd day, he said, "Do you realize that I'm not having much conversation with other people?" And I said, "Yes, but I am with you." I said, "Why?" He said, "Because you're pure love.
Mm.
You are pure love." And I said, "Thank you for seeing me. Now you have my interest in a deeper conversation." And he started talking about the fact that I was spirit-led. And I did end up going to Athens because of that conversation and that bonding and that the most important thing that we can do for others is to see them because we see me.
Yeah.
And so what is happening for me is that, we talked about the crown last week, so if anybody missed it, to YouTube. There is this thing that is happening that is called magnetism. You know the law of resonance, the law of vibration. Whenever you rise as your self, other people can't help but see you. And that is actually what's happening. So there's a magnetism, and I can tell, Sifu, how far I am and how far I've grown, especially with dating sites, who I'm attracting. Totally, totally different men this time. It is fascinating. You can tell where you are by what is happening in your life right now. What you say about yourself. And when you move to self-love, which is the highest mastery level that I know on this side and this planet, then other people will love you and see that. And I see you.
Oh, I know you see me. Thank you for that.
Yes.
I truly appreciate that. I see you, right? And the beauty I think that we are able to share with one another is that we are honest with one another. And I think that in healing your trauma without the drama is to do that, to be authentic, to not bring and stop blaming other people for who you are today. Maybe your actions is based on something that happened in your life. Yes, no doubt, right? But we cannot say I'm nasty because of so and so, or I'm this because no, you are who you are because you decide who you are. And I think that when we can come and not apologize for who we are, but be who we are. And I'm not talking about being a crass person. I'm talking about being a person who is here for what their purpose is in life. And if you don't know what your purpose is, you have two people right here who can show you, right? We can help you with that. We can guide you in the way of your purpose, right? So for me, it's always helping people reset into who they're supposed to be because a lot of times people are living the life for someone else instead of living the life they were supposed to live. And you do the same, right? You help so many people. And I'm happy that we have partnered in this venture, if you will, to help as many people by doing this live and having people come and join us. So if you want to join us again live, we're going to have an update on our socials and then we will let you know. It's not going to be next week. It's going to be in probably in a couple of weeks, but we are coming back live because Tammy's schedule is beyond crazy because she is changing the world. But most importantly, she's changing her world,
Yes.
right? Which always starts with us, right? And so we have to accommodate her crazy schedule, and I'm okay with that, right?
Thank you.
Every time it becomes just that much more powerful. And you know me, I love power. I love power not because I'm powerful, but I love receiving power. And every time that we're together, I feel that I'm receiving. So, and don't be afraid as a giver. I'm never afraid to receive also. but I'm not a taker. Not a taker. I'm a giver and I'm a receiver, but I will never be a taker.
Mm, that's beautiful. So if somebody wants to have a conversation with you, seafood, do you have a way for them to get in touch with you? I have a way, and I'll share in a minute.
Yeah, mine is easy. It's seafoodrafael.com. Let's go. Right?
I have at the top of my website, tammydemirza.com, a link right at the very top of the website that says, "Book a breakthrough conversation with me." So it's really to see how I can be of service by the things that I do and where you are. I really wanna know where you are. So book that conversation if you are interested in learning more, and book it with you have a link to book a conversation with you, so yeah.
So yours is tammydemirza.com, mine is c4rafael.com. We both can have conversations with you. And here's the whole thing. Do something that other people may even look at you funny and go, "Why are you doing that? Why are you trying to level up? Why do you need a coach? Why do you need a mentor? Why do you need somebody in your corner? You're fine." No, you're not fine. Look, Tammy's got a couple of coaches. I have a couple of coaches. I am always amazed by the people who are higher than me, but I don't want to be them. I want to be guided by them so I can still be me. And we will not change you. You change you. We just guide you.
I think that's exactly what I tell people. I guide people home. Do you mind if I share one more story? Because you were talking about home.
Yeah, sure.
I was in Jack Canfield's house twice. Jack Canfield, describe him, is very shy, actually. Even though you used to see him on stage a lot, I understand that he's retiring or has retired. But he used to be on stage all the time. He's very well known. And now I'm around Les Brown. I'm about to share the stage again with Les Brown. These giants like Jack Canfield are really fun to be around and to have conversations with. And there were a group of people in Jack's house, and there was a guy that had gotten his tenure at Columbia University, and his name was Dr. Home. I can't pronounce his last name because it's Chinese, and I have a hard time remembering names anyway. Give me your social, I'll remember your numbers. But he shared a story on the last day about why he calls himself Dr. Home. And I was like, surely your name is not Home. Your first name is not Home. Yes, it is. Legally, it's his name. And it's because he was tapping into a lifetime where he became homeless. So in this life, there had never been one sign of him becoming homeless, of really going through what mastery level work is. I mean, I could tell you a lot of people that I know that were homeless. We're in good company, but it's not an easy journey. So Dr. Home kept worrying about being homeless. And he said one day he's in this meditation and he said, the guy says, I want you to breathe. And that takes you home. And he said, all of a sudden I had this revelation my entire life until I was 50 years old. I've been afraid of being homeless, never a sign about it, but that other lifetime was popping in, lines that happen sometimes. And he said, when that meditation teacher said, this takes you home, he went, oh my God, just by breathing, I'm home. And he legally changed his name to Dr. Home because he could never be homeless because he is home.
That's right.
And this is you. You are home. We guide people home.
Let's go home. Let's go home.
Yes.
Thank you, everybody. Dr. Tammy, you are an incredible human being. I am blessed to know you.
You
Everybody, thank you so much for joining us today. Do me a favor. If you even think you like the show, I think you loved it, but if you even think you like the show, please share it with others. Let others know that we are going to be here. We're going to come back. Follow us on our socials, go to our websites, and join us. We are here. We are home.
Yes. Thank you, guys.
God bless everybody.